Hare Krishna. Welcome all devotees to the Gita Daily program. So today we'll be discussing Sloka number 2.13. So as usual, we take blessings of the Lord, Jagannath, Baldev, Subhadra, Mai, Sudarshan, God and Thai, and Panchatattva Lord Nrsimhadev. We'll start with the prayers. Om Atnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Namam Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhudale Srimade Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So we'll dedicate our session, Gita Daily, to His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, who is the founder Acharya of International Society for Krishna Consciousness, who has described Bhagavad Gita in a very simple and practical way. Due to his mercy, we are able to understand Bhagavad Gita today. So today's sloka is Bhagavad Gita, chapter 2, sloka number 13. So we'll recite the sloka. देहिनोऽस्मिन् यदा देहे कौमारं यौवनं जरा तदा देहान्तरप्राप्तिर्धीरस्तत्र न मुह्यति. Repetition. देहिनोऽस्मिन् यदा देहे कौमारं यौवनं जरा तदा देहान्तरप्राप्तिर्धीरस्तत्र न मुह्यति. Translation by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. As the embodied soul continuously passes in this body from boyhood to youth to old age, the soul similarly passes into another body at death. A sober person is not bewildered by such a change. So, in today's shloka, we are continuing the same theme of discussion. Last session, we saw that the soul is eternal and also it always retains its individuality. Today, we are continuing the discussion and understand a little more detail. So, we see how the soul is unchanged and the body is changing, right? And at the death, the soul move on to another body. So let us see the word meaning. Dehina, of the embodied, asmin, in this, yada, as, dehe, in the body, kaumaram, boyhood, yauvanam, youth, jara, old age, tada, similarly, dehantara, of transference of the body, prapti, achievement, dhiraha, the sober, tatra, thereupon, na, never, muhyadi, is deluded. So we'll pause for some time. Like, let us look at this picture. So this picture is illustrating this concept of how the body continuously changes, but the soul doesn't change. So we can see that in the bottom we can see that there's a small child, right? So actually the journey of the soul in this life start in the womb of the mother. So in the womb of the mother, it's a small embryo, right? And it starts its life. Then once take birth, it's a small baby. Then it grows up. First it starts only crawling on the ground, then it starts little bit walking. Slowly, the body continuously changes. He becomes a boy, then he becomes a young man, then he becomes the middle age. So like around 50 years, that particular position, the body is maintained for some time. No, the youth youthful time will remain for a few years. Then after that the body again starts deteriorating, like as it goes 55, 60, 70, 75, 80, like that the body slowly start deteriorating, right? Like the hair go away, the teeth lose, he loses the teeth, he loses the strength. So finally the body comes to a point where actually it is no more inhabitable for the soul. So at this point, the soul actually takes on another body. So so the next body that the soul gets is based on the two factors, important factors. So one is that what is the karma that jiva has done in this lifetime, and second is the desire of the jiva. So scriptures talk about the body. Sometimes like it gives example, the body is like a dress. So when the old dress becomes worn out or unusable, we take on new dresses. Similarly, the soul also, when the body becomes useless, it can be due to old age, it can be due to disease, or it can be due to an accident, whatever be the reason. When the body becomes useless, the soul just moves on to another body. But then this new body is not completely, the soul doesn't directly have a choice of what body is going to get. That is based on, it is mentioned as karmana deva netrena. So it's based on the karma, what all things the past karma the jiva has done, and also by supervision of the superior authority, right? And also the desire of the jiva. So these topics we'll discuss in the future session in more detail. But essentially, we need to understand that the soul is not changing at all. The body, though the body continuously change, the soul is unchanged. So that is the reason that we are able to remember the things, though the body is completely changing. According to scientific information, also the cells of our body is recycled every few years, right? All the new cells are created. But then actually, still there is something that in our body that I know that retains our identity. So this is essentially because of the fact of the soul. There's also one more important thing, that there are three levels of our existence. So actually, the real person that we are is the soul or the atma. There are two layers of covering. The first covering is known as the subtle body. The subtle body is known as sukshma sharira, and the gross body, which is known as the stula sharira. So the subtle body, which is covering the soul, is consisting of mind, intelligence, and ego. So it is known as subtle body because this subtle body is not perceived by our eyes. Our senses cannot perceive it. No, it is beyond the sense perception. So that is why it's known as stula sharira, sorry, sukshma sharira or subtle body. And then the subtle body is further covered by the gross body, which is consisting of the matter, no, which is consisting of the Panchabhutas. That is earth, water, air, fire, ether. So these are the Pancha Mahabhutas, by which our body is constituted. So all the material things are also constituted of the Panchabhuta. Similarly, our body is also made of this. So this is the gross body. So what that we see externally is the gross body. So what happens at the time of death? At the time of death, the scripture says that the subtle body will act like a vehicle for carrying the soul to the new body. So when at the time of death, the subtle body detaches from the gross body, it carries the soul along with it, and it moves on to the next destination, the next body. The next body could be a human body, or it can be any of the 84 lakh species of life which are available. As discussed, it will be based on the karma, what the jiva has done in this lifetime, and also the desires that the jiva is carrying. Also, as mentioned, the mind is part of the subtle body, right? So all the desires, the vasanas, the impressions that the jiva acquires in the lifetime is also part of the subtle body, which is actually carried forward. So that is the reason when sometimes a children in the small age, they have some abilities which are like extraordinary, which is not possible normally, to acquire in a short age. So some of these are naturally transformed from the previous life, right? So all the vasanas, also the impression. Sometimes the children have a phobia, right? Or even adults, also there are some phobia. So these phobias are also some experience of the past, some traumatic experience of the past, which is carried by through the subtle body to the next life. So the subtle body is that which continues the cycle of birth and death. That is the media or the vehicle which carries the soul to the next body. So these are some of the important concepts. I'll stop the sharing and we'll continue the discussion so that you can focus. So, what are the important concepts of today's discussion? Important topics or conceptions are, um, one is the transmigration of the soul, right? Though we have seen that the soul is eternal, not only the soul is eternal, like we also see how the soul changes the bodies, right? So, within the body, the soul is constant or the soul doesn't change, but the body keeps changing. And at the time of death, it just accepts a completely new body, right? So, it's a new body altogether. So somebody who actually is understanding this truth about the soul is known as a sober person or a dhira. A dhira is a person who is not bewildered by the changes of the body. Yeah, because he understands that the body is temporary and the changes of the body are also temporary, right? And the soul, which is an eternal entity, is never lost. So such a person, when he gains the knowledge of the soul or atma tattva, he will not be shaken by the changes of the body, right? So when we understand that we are not just the body, right, we are spiritual beings who are eternally existing, then the fear is automatically vanquished. See, one of the greatest fear a living entity has, irrespective of whatever body you are, whether you're a human being, animal, etc., is the fear of death. And human birth is the only option where actually the higher intelligence is available. The animals, etc., cannot think like us. The human body is meant to understand the higher truths of life, and we can understand that because we are afraid of death because we think that with death everything is over. Especially in today's world, many of the people are atheist and they don't believe in God, nor they do believe in no like soul or atma. So because of which everybody is thinking that I should try to get the maximum out of this life because this is the only possibility. My existence is starting in the birth and everything is finished as death. And then we are so much worried what will happen. No? Like so, let me try to enjoy, or let me try to accumulate wealth, or let me try to gain fame. So basically, everybody is greedy and always running around in a hurry like fashion to try to get maximum out of it. But then when somebody understand that okay, this is just one experience that the jiva is going through, or one of the many lifetimes which has already passed and which is going to come in the future, then we would not be so much worried about it. But then just living a life and keep on taking new and new bodies is not an intelligent person's idea, right? Because the cycle of birth and death is continuing, it's endless. And every life, we have to repeat the same things, right? Like a small boy, go to school, learn the things, like get married, take responsibility, so much of tensions and worries. So, an intelligent person will try to find how he can end this cycle of birth and death and how he can attain his original spiritual body, right? And then keep eternally happy. Like we discussed last time, the nature of the soul is Satchidananda, Sat Chit and Ananda, that eternity, knowledge, and bliss. The soul original nature is always to be Anandamaya, Vyas, right? Always to be happy. So the Jiva, the intelligent Jiva or a sober person will seek out to find how I can end the cycle of birth and death. So that should be the real goal of life. So to illustrate the point, sometimes the Shastras give the example of a dress. A dress, just like we briefly discussed about it, just like old dresses becomes unusable, we take on new dresses, right? Similarly, the soul, when the body, when the gross body becomes useless, it takes another body. So this is one analogy. And also there's a profound story of King Bharat, which is relevant. So King, the scriptures like Srimad Bhagavatam and other scriptures, refers to Bharat Maharaj story in various occasions. And Bharat Maharaj story is a very clear example of reincarnation. So Bharat Maharaj, three lives are documented. So the first life, he was the great emperor. All of us know Bharat Maharaj because our area where we reside is known as Bharatavarsha, and the name Bharat came from Bharat Maharaj. So Bharat Maharaj was a great emperor, and he was a very successful ruler. And according to the Vedic principles, when you attain the age of 50, like when your responsibilities are over, you give hand over the responsibilities to the next generation, and you go to the forest, right? Because in the city life or in the town life or in the cities, the life is surcharged with materialistic things. There are so many distractions for somebody who want to pursue spiritual life. So in the olden times, the kings used to go to the forest so that they can meditate on the supreme lord, and attain the goal of life. So Bharat Maharaj was completely detached and he was living in the forest. But however, by some reason, by some arrangement, he became attached to a deer. And at the time of death, Maharaj remembered the deer, because whatever we are attached too much, that thought comes to our mind. And at the moment of leaving his body, Bharat Maharaj was so much concerned about the deer, thinking that who will take care of the deer, etc. We remembered the deer. And according to the Vedic scriptures, whatever you remember, accordingly you get the next body at the time of whatever you remember at the time of death, that will determine your next body. So Bharat Maharaj in the next life he got a deer's body, but he was blessed in such a way that he could remember of his previous life, that as King Bharat Maharaj. So he was lamenting that he misused his opportunity. So and then again he take birth in the next life as Jada Bharat, who was a Brahmana, but then he was a fully transcendent. He had the full transcendental knowledge by the mercy of the Lord, and he completely focused that life, in attaining perfection, and he went back, returned to God. So this particular story is just one example in the Puranas. We have so many stories or incidences which has happened, where actually this Punarjanma is indicated. So if you just go back few generations ago, also this Punarjanma or the continuity of the soul's eternal nature, it was just a given thing in everybody's. Everybody knew it, because some of the proof is that why do we do kriya? No? Like we call, like somebody passes away, death after death, we do the different kriyas, right? Different samskaras we do. We do shraddha ceremony, we do pinda dana. So if body is everything, then there's no point in doing all those things, right? So they understood that okay, body is temporary and soul continues its journey. So we do the samskaras for the safer or the better destination for the soul, right? So this was part of our culture, but however, we have lost gradually, with the influence of Western civilization and industrial revolution, various reasons. We started following or imitating the Westerners, and we gave up our own culture. So this was a given thing in our culture. So what are the key takeaways for today's session? So one is that okay, when we understand that the body is temporary, and also within one life itself our body will continuously change, we should not be too much attached to the temporary nature of the body, right? In the youth, somebody is very attractive, beautiful, strong, and we are too much attached, so people spend a lot of money, time, effort, etc., to keep their body very much fit. So we should not be overly attached. Okay, we have to take care of the body in such a way that we are healthy. That's sufficient. But then too much worried about the beauty or strength, etc., actually doesn't make sense when we understand that it is anyway temporary, right? Actually, the real person. So our efforts and time should be focusing on the real person, which is the soul. But normally we don't spend any time or effort for that. So this is one important lesson we can take, from the understanding that body is temporary nature of the body, right? And yeah, eternal nature of the soul. Similarly, in professional life, uh, how do we look at success and failures? Inevitably, success and failure are both both actually part of our life, right? We cannot avoid. So when somebody understands, the temporary nature of the body, also the temporary nature of the world, we should not be too much worried, about our temporary ups and setbacks of the life, right? So we should be able to handle the situation in a more um, uh, com- comfortable way, or no, with more composure, without losing our composure. We would be able to handle or face the challenges, in our life. So, and also the word dhira we discussed, dhira is, we should try to become a dhira, like not wavering with the ups and downs which are happening in the life. In the family life, we should also, sometimes what happens, we become too much attached to the children, right? Because the children, when they are very small, it's very lovely, to be with them. They use very sweet words, right? And we sometimes think that okay, let the child be like this only, so it's so much joyous to be with the child. So this way we have some attachment, to the different stages of the life, like sometimes children, or but when generally what happens when we grow old, we we also look back, right? It was very nice when we were children. So generally all these things, when we understand that they are temporary, then we just take it as part of the journey, right? It's natural progression, right? Everything is going to last only for some time, right? After that, the change is inevitable part of the journey. So we need to understand these concepts and apply in our life. So to wrap up the session today, what all things we learned, we understood that the soul is eternal, and also the body is continuously changing. The body is continuously changing, and a person who is dhira, or a sober person, understanding the eternal nature of the soul, he is not bewildered by the changes, temporary changes of the body. So this is the key takeaway. So with that, actually, I think we'll wind up today's session, and we'll get connected every day at the same time, 7 a.m. So request all people, to join the session without fail. You can also share the links with your friends or relatives, so that they can also get benefited. And also one small reminder: so our sessions will be Monday to Saturday, 7 a.m., and Sunday we actually invite all the participants whoever is staying in Bangalore, to our center, Harloor Center, where actually we'll have a physical program. So we will talk about Bhagavad Gita in much more detail. We spend around 1 hour. We'll have 1 hour class on Bhagavad Gita concepts every Sunday, and our program schedule is from 4:45 to 7 o'clock. So we'll have kirtans, bhajans, Bhagavad Gita class, followed by dinner prasadam for everyone. So it's a free program. You can search for ISKCON Harloor in Google Map, and you will get the location. So all of you are welcome, and so we'll see you again on Monday. So thank you all who have joined. Hare Krishna.